biggest problem with this car is the engine. It is a classic car engine. It drives like a classic car, and I do like that about it, but it's not reliable. There's always things going wrong. It's not very powerful, but I do love that it's got that originality. My plan, because I had another Mini, was always to put an X18 XE1 Vauxhall engine in, which is a 1.8 16 valve twin cam, like fairly modern engine with a mega squirt. Just kind of do like a fairly budget build. But then I didn't have enough space at the time. I ended up just getting rid of that project, but this was years ago now. And the plan was to use this car and do a kind of engine swap, possibly like full drivetrain swap with potentially a four-wheel drive. My problem is, as much as I think that would be really cool and really fun, and don't get me, they've been done loads of times, like Binky's a classic example. I think Binky's a bit too much for me. It's not enough Mini left in Binky, but there's loads that have been done. I don't think I've ever seen anything that I really like, purely because they always just seem so far gone that there's not really any kind of classic Mini left. So that's my dilemma, really. Like, I could just put another A-Series in it, get an A-Series rebuilt, do a fuel-injected one, maybe even a boosted one. It's quite popular for like a GT 1752, and the only turbo manifold on the market is actually a bit garbage, to be honest. So we could definitely do a better job of that, and like potentially create a product out of it, which is something that obviously I'm quite passionate about, Minis. So that is kind of an avenue I could go down, turboed, fuel injected, and then it keeps the A-Series engine. But again, realistically, what you'll come into is that same problem of then reliability, because you're pushing out 2 or 3 times the power output of what the engine was originally, and it's really expensive. I mean, I say really expensive. It's not. It's just it's more money than I'd like to spend on a car that I probably do less than 1,000 miles in a year at best. Like a fuel injection setup with a throttle body, is like 1,500 quid. Plus a turbo, all the fabrication components, mapping. Realistically, it would need an engine rebuild. I think without getting too carried away, you're looking at like £5,000, £6,000, £7,000 in what is a really ratty kind of shitly painted Mini. And that actually appeals to me in that it's a bit of a sleeper, and that's quite cool. But that's where I think the engine conversion and drivetrain conversion really comes in, because you can put in a modern engine and they will make more power than a boosted A-Series will make stock, without any work at all, and can have the potential to run a lot more power. The problem is the engines are bigger, you end up doing loads of cutting, you forget the front subframe, you end up doing a full drivetrain swap pretty much, which means you're playing with all the suspension geometry. As soon as you start playing with all the suspension geometry, you lose how it drives. It no longer drives like a classic Mini. So it's a tough one. I'm not really sure what to do with it. I know I need to do something with it, because I need to make it like kind of drivable. So, any suggestions, please? Don't suggest stupid stuff or stuff that's been done before. Bike engines, not interested. They're too noisy. They don't fit very well. Don't say K-swap it. Engine's too big, 2 litre engine. Again, it sounds like a good idea, but they're just it's not a big engine, but it's big and heavy as well. Realistically, I know it's like a cast iron engine, the A-Series, but as soon as I start adding a gearbox on the side, they just get really heavy. So yeah, ideas please.